व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत् सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे। सर्वश्रुतिशिरोरत्न विराजितपदाम्बुजः वेदान्ताम्बुजसूयो यः तस्मै श्री गुरवे। चैतन्य शाश्वत शान्तः व्योमातीतो निरञ्जनः बिन्दुनादकलातीतः तस्मै श्री गुरवे। ज्ञानशक्तिसमारूढः तत्त्वमाला विभूषितः भुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदाता च तस्मै श्री गुरवे। अनेकजन्मसम्प्राप्तः कर्मबन्धविदायिनः आत्मज्ञानप्रदानेन तस्मै श्री गुरवे। शोषणं भवसिन्धोश्च ज्ञापनं सारसम्पदः गुरोर्पादोदकं सम्यक् तस्मै श्री गुरवे। न गुरुरधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोरधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे। नन्नाथ श्रीजगन्नाथः मद्गुरु श्रीजगद्गुरुः मदात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे। गुरुराधिरनादिश्च गुरुर्परमदैवतं गुरोर्परतरं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं तदेव देव त्वमेव सर्वं तदेव देव त्वमेव सर्वं तदेव देव।
Thank you, Vaishnavi. Guruji will enlighten now with his talk on silence through sound. Guruji, over to you.
Can you all hear me at the back? Okay. Hello. Hari Om. Can you increase the volume? Any better? Yes. Right. Om. 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 Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Namaskaram to everyone. Greetings to Prasad Garu, Hari Prasad Garu, General Mohandas ji, Dr. Shri Kumar, and all of you who are very, very familiar, very dear, very known, and we always call ourselves as the wisdom family. So happy to have you all here today. So for the next half an hour or plus, not longer than that, we would like to celebrate the occasion of the Guru Purnima. I find it or we all found it a great honor and privilege to coincide the book release along with the auspicious occasion of Guru Purnima. As you all know, the Guru Purnima is a great spiritual tradition which has been coming from a long, long time. It's a very sacred occasion. A day where we pay our homage, where we pay our respects to your Guru and to the host of unknown Gurus. A day we choose to celebrate, a day where we choose to express our ever felt gratitude. It's not that today I've expressed my gratitude to the Guru and then rest of the year I've forgotten that fellow. Where is he? God knows. Right? I've expressed. When? Guru Purnima, I saw him. Rest of the year, I don't know where he is, what's up to him. I don't know whether alive or dead, I don't know. It's not that kind of an unconcern. It's like you celebrate nowadays, every day is a special day. No, Father's Day, Uncle's Day, Grandmother's Day, Nephew's Day, Niece Day, Elbow's Day, that some day is there. But this Guru Purnima is perhaps it might strike a chord to people who may not relate to it, but in that sense, a day where we choose to express our gratitude. And in fact, I, along with you all, let's all hold our palms together. Let's bow our head with utter reverence and respect and regard to all the Gurus. Seriously, let's bow down to them. for all what they have given, for all the sacrifice that they have done. Please tell them also to fold their hands. Huh? So this great Guru, Shishya, Parampara, the preceptor, disciple lineage is that which is responsible for us having access to this wisdom even in this era. If not for this lineage of a student picking up the knowledge from the Guru and trying to imbibe it and make it his own and passing it on, if there was an informal system, nobody was forced to do it, nobody did it because it had to be done, but they did it because they found it an obligation. I learned it from my Guru, he learned it from his Guru, he learned from his Guru. But did my Guru tell me to go out into the world and teach this knowledge? Nay. Is there any binding between me and my Guru? No. But yet here am I, devoted over 3 decades of my life, and the rest of my life will be consumed with an attempt to do justice to what these great men has laid down for us. They have laid down a wealth of wisdom. And I find it an obligation. In fact, I feel I would be committing a sin if I don't make noise about this wisdom. I'm committing a sin by sitting quietly with myself and keeping it to myself. So it is to this parampara, an informal system that existed from time immemorial, that is sustained, preserved, and presented the knowledge to us today. As, don't we know, I dare attempt to sing, but the famous Tyagaraja Kirtana, Endaro Mahanubhavulu, Andariki na Vandanamulu, means so many great men, so many of them have contributed to preserving this, and I bow down with all utter humility. And that's the attitude. So objective is to invoke that feeling in all of us of the great sacrifice and the great work these great men have done again and again. Time and again they have done that. So the Guru Purnima is also known as Vyasa Purnima. So it is actually, we are celebrating the birthday of Lord, the great Vyasa. Vyasa, apart from all the other works that he did, great contribution. What is the major work of the great Vyasa? Sorry? One of the major works many people have access to is wrote the Mahabharata. The Bhagavad Gita is the philosophical essence of the epic Mahabharata. But Vyas in Sanskrit means one who codifies. So Vyasa, he got the name because he codified the Vedas. So apart from the major works of dividing the 4 Vedas, codifying them, he did many other things. So his birthday is celebrated as the Guru Purnima. For all that great, and any noise he made, he just did his part and he moved on. So today we shall remember the great Vyasa by salutations to him. The famous verse from the Dhyana Shlokas. Namostu te Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Fullara Vindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Thaila Purnaha Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Namostute. Let's sing all of us. You see on your screens there for you all? Let's sing along. Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Fullara Vindayata Patra Netra येन त्वया भारत तैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमय प्रदीपः. Salutations to you, Vyasa. Hello. Salutations to you, Gayatri Ma. Can we please have that? She is the foundation. Without that, nothing will work in the foundation. You see, I have to request her, please leave it on screen for a while. Namaskaram, Gayatri Ma. Salutations to Gayatri Ma, sorry. Salutations to Vyasa. For a moment, I got. Yeah. Oh, Vyasa, Vishala Buddhe. So, Vyasa had a vast intellect, means a giant, not an ordinary intellect. He had a vast intellect. My salutations to you, whose eyes was as large as petals of a full-blown lotus. Means he was a charming, magnetic personality. He had a beauty about him, not an ugly-looking fellow. Means he had a profound wisdom and a charming personality who lit the lamp of wisdom, filled with the oil of Bharata. Oil of Bharata means that Bharata clan, our country, was profound because this wisdom was there. Every Indian, every Bharat, every person in this land had this wisdom. Can you and I claim today to have that wisdom? It's gone. What today is just the tip of the iceberg. Most of it is gone. Yogo nashtha parantapa. As time passed on, we have lost this tradition. In the Gita itself, it said, if it was lost then, what are the chances today? We need to do a lot more to revive this wisdom. Hold on. Huh? Hold on. So the spiritual path is an uncharted path. Means you and I don't know what that path is. Can anyone claim to know? I don't think I have the ahankar to say, I know. I please plead you all to reconsider if you say, I know, sir. So the spiritual path is an uncharted path. What are you trying to do in the spiritual path? Hello. Next. I think you should open the window. Nothing is coming through from here there. Transmission is not happening. That's the reason I put a sliding window. It's permanently closed. I think they closed it. Gayatri Ma, thank you. You are in the spiritual path. What are we trying to do? We are seeking something in yourself, by yourself, and you cannot do it yourself. Let's accept that. I don't know what that path is, that into my own self. I don't know what that journey holds. Next. What lies behind us and what lies before us are inconsequential, tiny, pathetic things. No point talking about tiny matters, useless matters, sir. What lies ahead of us, what lies behind us are all tiny matters compared to what lies within us. All the time I'm concerned what happened and what is yet to happen. Why things happen the way it happened, what might happen. Adnavari. All the problems in life are created because of imaginary. A lot of them are imaginary. So to an extent, if you don't worry what happened behind us and what's going to happen in the future and start concerning of what's going to happen within us, what lies within us, I think the real journey begins. And for that uncharted path, you need a guru. Therefore, it is essential that you celebrate occasions like these and remember the knowledge laid down and the role a guru plays. Now, keeping to tradition, on this occasion, we have chosen a topic. The topic is silence through sound. You can stop, man. So the topic is, when you say silence through sound, what is silence through sound? It only means it's a passage through sound to silence. It's a passage. Silence through sound is a passage through sound into silence. So in your life, only one thing exists at a time. It's either sound or silence, because they are two opposites. Both can't exist at the same time. Prabhakar Garu, only one exists, Kalandi? Not two, only one. True, huh? I thought you said two. He is my very good badminton friend. He disagrees on court, he's disagreeing outside court also. Huh? I thought outside court at least he'll agree to me. Inside the court you can disagree. Correct, sir? Now there is a quite an often reference in the Shastras to this quality of silence. In the 12th chapter of the Gita, where Lord Krishna gives 35 qualities of a devotee of God. And here is the verse, the 19th verse of chapter 12. Try and chant along with me. Tulya ninda stutir mauni santushto yena kenachet aniketa sthiramatihi bhaktiman me priyo naraha. Now, what exactly I'm referring to? 35 qualities are enumerated. Now, in this verse, he says, to whom censure and praise are equal, content with anything, etc. But one of the qualities which I'm referring to is mauni. The word maunam or mauni means silent. So, the Shastras talk of it in a very great detail. Here is one such reference. So he says a true bhakta, a true devotee is silent. Now, what do you understand by silence? Just give me what do you understand by the word maunam? Oh, very good. Therefore, here my friend says, why did you waste your time writing book on wisdom conversations you have written? The best thing is don't ask a question. So Guru has nothing to answer. The book has no meaning in my life. That's what it is. Correct? Answer. I know that you didn't mean that. Silence is a search within. Don't react. Well enough. Yes. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just asking what silence means. What do you understand by silence? Maunam ante enti? Inner peace. Sorry? Faith. Sorry? Receptive. Contentment. Witnessing. Witnessing your own thoughts. Observing. Whom? Observe others. I can do what I want. What that fellow is doing, what my neighbor is doing, what she is doing, what that fellow is doing. I can do what I want. Is that what?
No, observe, silent, and appreciate.
True. Observance is, I know what you meant. In fact, some of you said the right thing. Many people construe maunam to be a physical quality. Like, I remember my child, when she is as a kid, when she used to come back from school, she used to tell, my teacher shouted at all the class. Everybody in the class shouted. You know what teacher said? Zip your mouth. So, Daddy, am I to zip my mouth? Very difficult, you know. Maunam is misconstrued to be being physically silent. Misconstrued. But maunam is not a physical quality, it is a quality or an attribute of the mind. It's an internal silence, not trying to maintain a physical silence of not talking. It is not to be understood that way. So obviously the silence refers to the mental silence. an inner silence. Now, what is the state of the mind today? Let's be honest. Huh? Huh? It can't be silent. Sorry, sir? Present situation, the present condition of the mind is it cannot remain silent. So what is the state of the mind? As somebody said, it is chaotic. It is going through a state of turbulence. It is constantly prattling. In English language also they call what is known as chitter chatter. How many of you heard chitter chatter? Chitter chatter means chattering. One more word I'll use. It's called jibber jabber. Chitter chatter and jibber jabber is what your mind is doing. What did you learn today, Guru Purnima? Not to chitter chatter, not to jibber jabber. Huh? What is this new thing you're saying? I'm not saying anything of this English language. Mohandas Garu. Chitter chatter is to chattering. Jibber jabber is to jabbering. Jabbering is an excited speech which doesn't make any sense. Again, attribute to the mental state. So what I'm trying to say is your mind is never at rest. Your mind is constantly a constant soliloquy. And that continues in sleep also. Actually, your mind is talking to you even in sleep. It's coming and disturbing your sleep. You know that? There must be something terribly wrong with you if you can't sleep. So one guarantee of joining the e-course is I will guarantee you sleep. Everything else, Ramji said, I don't know who put into the brochure. He has talked, he has promised, go to him if those things. But I will guarantee you will have sound sleep. That I guarantee you. In fact, I'm talking of my experience here. When I came back from the ashram, back to Hyderabad in the late 90s, in fact, mid-95, 97, came back. I used to start taking classes and all. And one gentleman approached me and said, sir, I can't come to your public classes because of security reasons, but would you come to and teach me in private? I said, I am not a pujari to come and teach in your house or chant in your house. I will not do that. I had arrogance. My guru said, don't be a slave to all these big shots. Don't be like a pujari and wag tail to them. No, you go. If somebody wants to knowledge, let him come to the guru. Why should guru run around? So I said, no, sorry, not disrespectfully. I said, sorry, sir, I will not. If you want, you please come. There is no insecurity. You will be very secure in my classes. But then he was very persistent. He said, sir, no, I am so-and-so. I can't reveal his name. I am so-and-so and I have security issues. So I will send a vehicle for you, pick you up and come and teach me. I said, that be so? Okay. I said, let me see how it works. I taught him for close to 2 years. And one of the things I remember, I'm quoting him, he told me is, said, Vinay, like my very elderly person, said, Vinay, I must tell you, I'm unable to sleep even with sleeping pills. I'm not able to sleep. And no sooner than 3-4 months, around plus minus, he went about saying, this knowledge has made sure I can sleep without a sleeping pill. So if you don't believe me, I'll give in private his number, his address, you go and contact him. He is a testimony to what I'm saying. A fellow who couldn't sleep. His biggest fear was, one of the fears was his son. Said, that fellow, if anything happens to him, what will happen to my empire? What will happen to me? I will be broken and things like that. All mind imagining. And I remember he showing me his 7 Series BMW. He said, I imported this car because this car or this model has extra airbags. Because if my son drives and he gets into an accident, that's finished. So I've got this car extra. Imagine how your mind can concoct and create that fear. So the current state of mind is, it is very disturbed. So the entire spiritual sadhana is to silence the mind. As a famous thinker, Lao Tzu. How many of you heard Lao Tzu? There you see, there you go. Laozi. Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu or Lao Tzu? How do you pronounce it? So Laozi. Zi. He is in fact the Taoism, and he is one of the central Chinese figure, well regarded for this philosophy. And he said, to the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. So if any one of us have achieved to keep and still your mind, the whole world will surrender to you. That's what he says. So apart from mentioning what that silence, now don't you think we all should find a way to invoke that silence within? How many of you feel yes? How many say no, I'm not interested? In the din and roar of the marketplace, in the situation where we are today in life, don't you think we need to invoke silence? We all need to, isn't it? So if I don't help, or if I don't give any practical tips how we can invoke silence, I don't think we are doing a little justice to the text or the opportunity of the topic. The two qualities I will talk about. The two qualities are, you need to practice austerity of speech. One needs to practice austerity of speech, and the second is austerity of mind. By practicing the quality of austerity of speech and austerity of mind, you will be able to invoke silence, mental silence within you. And there is a verse from the Gita. In fact, there is a beautiful saying by Dionysus. How many of you have heard Dionysus? Dionysus is the famous Roman bishop. Dionysus, Roman bishop. He said, let thy speech be better than silence, or be silent. Let thy speech be better than silence, or simply remain silent. Shut up, don't talk. You must be worthy of being better than silent. Then only you talk. Next, Emerson, the American philosopher, he said, I like the silent church before the service begins better than any preaching. I'm not saying it. And I'm not taking a dig at any Christian. I'm only saying something which perhaps all of you will say, yeah, the silence before the event was much better than all what he said. Please, at least don't tell here, you go and talk outside. But okay, we will somehow, Sinhaji, we'll have to go back to Malaysia and tell what you want to tell. At least when you're staying here, don't talk about the Guru like that. I like the silent church before the service begins than any preaching. So if you want to invoke silence, you need to practice austerity of speech. And the verse, sing along. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. Once again. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. The speech without excitement, the speech that is satyam, truthful, priyahitam, which is pleasant, which is beneficial, and also the practice of the sacred study are called austerity of speech. Now let's chant the next verse, which talks about the austerity of mind, and I'll briefly explain. This is the quintessence. If you are able to invoke, practice this, you will be able to achieve, what would be achieved? Mental silence. No point going away to a resort where you are put in cubicles or compartments or told not to talk. No point. That is okay during that time. But then what happens after that? All the frustration will come out of not having spoken for so long. It's not a permanent transformation. It's temporary. It's like, I have a cancer and I'm putting Band-Aid. Will Band-Aid cure the cancer I'm going through? I have a terminal disease. Bandage will not help. So trying to keep my mouth shut will not silence the mind. You have to practice austerity of speech and austerity of mind to be able to address the mental disease of the chattering and jabbering. The chitter-chatter and I don't hear loud enough. Chitter-chatter and jibba-jabba. So this side will say chitter-chatter, this side will jibba-jabba. Correct, Amma? Guru Purnima என்ன கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்க? ஜிப்பர் ஜாபா சிட்ட சாட்டா. அதான் சொல்லுங்க போயிடு எல்லாருக்குமே. சிட்ட சாட்டா ஜிப்ப ஜாபா. You say, sir, please practice some austerity of speech. You are telling austerity of speech and not practicing it. You will say, I know what's going on your mind. Some of you, I can read your mind. Vasantama, I know. Vap, you must be thinking time is going on where you're not finishing and he's jibber jabbering all around. Mana prasada samyatvam maunamatma vinigraha bhava samshuddhirityetaha tapo manasa muchyate. Mana prasada samyatvam maunamatma vinigraha bhava samshuddhirityetaha muchyate. Now, go back to the previous verse. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat. The previous verse. Where is the other verse? 15th verse. What is that? Now, if you read, what does it say in this verse? Without excitement. So when you talk, there shouldn't be that excitement, he says. When are you usually excited? Being excited, what does it denote? Sridharji? If you are excited, what does it denote? No. Sir, he is saying without excitement means excitement is a negative quality. So austerity of speech is when you speak, it must be not with excitement. It is indicating that, see, without excitement, when you are impulsive, impulsive means when you don't back your speech with thought, you will be speaking rubbish. But when you speak with reason and thought, you will not speak with excitement. And excitement will not be there. You're calm and composed. Anudvegakaram. Truthful. Truthful means you speak the truth. You present facts. You speak the fact, truth. There's no cooking up information. That quality to be able to speak the truth when it has to be spoken. No bias, no prejudice. That's what Satyam, pleasant. I mean, there is no egoistic or selfish motive. Beneficial for whom? Neha. Beneficial for whom, Neha? Neha, mi peru. When you talk, it should be beneficial to other person. I'm not talking for myself. I'm talking for your benefit. So the speech is calculated in such a way that it is for your good, for a higher cause. And all of this, when is it possible? Subramaniam sir, when is it possible, sir? Where your speech becomes without excitement, truthful, pleasant, beneficial. When is it possible to achieve that? When is it possible to achieve all those four? No. I'm only referring to the verse. Is it still there on the screens for you all? The answer is there on the screen for you all. When swadhyaya bhyasanam chaiva, only one who does swadhyaya will be able to achieve these qualities. So the maturity of the mind is when you do the self-study, which is the study of the Shastras. When you study the Shastras, when do you study the Shastras? Not at bedtime, after bedtime. It is early morning. After bed, getting up from the bed, you do it little bit. So when one who does Swadhyaya will be able to achieve conquering the mind, where you will be speaking without excitement, you will be truthful, etc. The next verse, which is the austerity of mind, he says serenity means your mind is very calm and equanimous. When is it calm and equanimous? When you do not act on your raga dvesha. Now I'm throwing ideas you may not understand, but perhaps that may interest you to come back to the study to understand what it is. Because this all is science. It has to be studied and explained. So the mind will be agitated if you act on raga dvesha. What's raga dvesha, Siraniji? Likes and dislikes. Raga dvesha. So when you act on likes and dislikes, oh, I don't like the way you talk. So what is the effect? I am agitated. Oh, I like the way he did his things, so I'm excited. So when the world dances to my tunes, I'm happy. When the world doesn't dance to my tunes, I'm a fury. Angry is just a very silent word. I'm a fury. So that kind of serenity is lost if you act on your raga dvesha. If you want to get to that silence, you have to have a capacity where you don't act on your raga dvesha. Namaskaram. Sadhguru. Riyam sir. Namaskaram. Happy to have you. Gentle. You're refined, a mild disposition. I'm just going back to the text. There's nothing on my own I can say. I'm only trying to draw from the text. A gentle disposition, a pure disposition. The Plutarch, the Greek philosopher, he said, a sage is timely silence, better than any speech. If you want to reach a state of a sage, the timely silence is important. At times you must speak. As Shakespeare says in the play Hamlet, beware of entering into a quarrel, but getting into one, make sure the other be beware of thee. I don't want to get into a quarrel, but if I get into a quarrel, you better be beware of me, man. So that is being silent when somebody is nonsense to you, you may give it back. But you are not having any malice in your head. As they say, give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Same phrase. In the first sentence, he says, beware of entering into a quarrel. Once you get into one, make sure the other be beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, by few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Same 4 lines, almost contradicting each other. One he says, give every man there, by few thy voice, he says. Next he says, let the other be beware of thee. Now, what am I to follow? Timely silence. That's what Plutarch is saying. It's timely silence that matters. Sometimes being silent at the wrong time has wrong consequences. And how do you know when to be silent, when not to be silent? The buddhi. If you have a head on your shoulders, you will know what to talk, when to talk, what not to talk. So you must learn to invoke that silence through austerity of speech and austerity of mind. And if you learn to listen to silence, silence has so much to say. It is a profound silence. So profound, it has so much to say if you invoke it and if you experience it. So, the real silencing, the mind will only be silent, is directly related to if you have too many desires, if your mind is raging with too many desires, the natural consequence of that is your mind will be agitated. Remember this. This is the formula, the thumb rule. As they say, the more extroverted you are, what is example of extrovertedness the Shastras have given? So that you don't become one. Hariprasad Garu. Example of extroversion. Extroversion, Ardhavendra sir. Example the Shastras have given, sir. Chepandi, any thought? Sir, if you all would appreciate, this is the style I teach. I'm having a conversation with you all every second sentence. And that's how the book is. It's a conversation. Imagine me talking on my own without involving you all. There is no, the outcome is very insignificant. But if I made you think, if I have a dialogue with you, if I question you and take you along with me, that you will recap. So when you go back, even 1 week later, you will recall because I made you think here. I paused. I asked you a question and you thought and answered. It could be wrong, but the fact that you thought, you will recall it. But you can listen to most brilliant oration, but if you don't think, it is temporary. And this process is known as education, to draw it out. That is a conversation, and that's the style even now I'm adopting. Some of them may say, why are you taking this style? No, I'm so native to it, I have to do it. So the question, sir, is example of extroversion. The more extroverted you are, the more agitated you are. A classic example our Shastras are given. Any idea, sir, of a personality I'm talking here? No idea? Venkatji? Example? Example? You're giving me choice to choose from, huh? What sort of an answer is that? Multiple choice, you choose any demon you want. Right? Very smart answer. Answered yet not answered. Duryodhana, yes. Any other example? Ravana is personified extroversion to a point of fault. A man who had everything that he could have asked for, yet his mind wanted more. And the sad reality is, your mind is no different than Ravana's mind. Don't tell me, oh, I am Rama. You don't know me, sir. Is that so? Look at yourself once in the mirror. Wipe the mirror and see once again. A lot of dust there on the mirror. I am not trying to fling a remark here. Is our mind completely contented and happy and at peace? Or is it restless? It is restless because your mind is of extroverted nature. And I'm not saying it. I'm not trying to put you in a compartment. So when one has these kind of restlessness arising due to that constant karma, desire, craving, of I want to acquire the world, I want to enjoy the world. Not that you should not, but that greed, that lobha, that lust for wanting more and more and more, you will destroy your inner peace. On the contrary, when you become more introverted in nature, the natural consequences, your mind remains peaceful. And this transformation cannot happen overnight. I am just giving a matter of fact. So how should you deal with all the desires that your mind craves? How do you handle with all the desires that your mind throws at you? Is it possible to satisfy every desire your mind has, Nikhil? Your mind has desires, no? Is it possible to satisfy every desire? So how do you handle with desires which you can't satisfy? You should know, isn't it? Because your mind is throwing day in and day out at desires. You should know. I think, Purnima, did you not read a question from that section of the book where we said about the nature of the mind? So you better know how to deal with it. If you don't know, you pay the price. You lost your own peace. Now, ultimately, the ultimate silencing of the mind is through meditation. I know. Alarm is coming. I know it's coming. I know. Thank you for the reminder. Oh. No, the mic is there. Pass him the mic. They hit the mic, so nobody uses it, sir. No. For at least those online, perhaps they will need to hear you. I was quite surprised.
So long.
45 minutes, 40 odd minutes of silence from Aviji is Purnima. It's a little unusual. Huh? It's not unusual. For me, I feel very unusual. I was very restless all the while. And now I'm Shanti, Aviji.
I shall break my silence. No, I was just going to say extroversion in general in today's world, in present day parlance, is considered a great virtue. To be, when you call somebody an extrovert, you mean he's a great socializer, he's an go-getter, all these expressions. And introversion may not be necessarily all bad, but in general, when you call somebody introverted, it's shy, withdrawn, etc., etc. I'm talking of the general modern day understanding. So how does one?
I'm glad you clarified this, because that's the reason I said extroverted person is one whose mind constantly craves for more. That tendency of the mind which constantly is overpowered by greed, the lobha, is never peaceful or content. How the Shastras use the word. The modern English dictionary may give a different meaning. An introverted person doesn't mean he's inactive. In fact, you're far more dynamic, you're far more active, but you're at a different level of work you produce. You know what? In fact, I can see the transformation. In fact, in the spiritual field, what happens? You begin as an extroverted person and then you slowly become an introverted person. So if I can objectively look at myself, how have I progressed? How my initial days of karma or seva was, I used to run around, organize, raise resources, seek public support for organizing events, for my guru or anything, running around all the time, being in the world. And the last 7, 8 years, 10 years, I started feeling averse to it. I was more wanting to withdraw just to be with myself. No doubt, study and teaching, all that went on, but I used to be more, had to do. Now, I have become so much so introverted that I look forward to being more at my desk with the books and writings. The fact that there's a publication is because of that. So an extroverted person has become an introvert person. Now, am I an inactive person? So, not advertising myself. Recently, 15 days, I went to the Mount Everest base camp and came. Every muscle in my body had to be exercised. And same person would love to sit behind desk and study and write. So introversion doesn't mean you don't act. Introversion is a nature of mind where your mind is calm and composed. Extroverted is a state of mind. They're not talking of physical state. Extroversion, introversion is depicting the state of your mind. Please get this right. What is extroversion, introversion? A state of the mind, not what actions you perform. So it's not that extroverted person is a go-getter, introvert person is a puss-puss fellow. Puss-puss introverted fellow. No. Introvert fellow is not puss-puss. Introvert fellow is a go-getter. But his mind is like the Mansarovar lake. It's not like the rushing waters of a river. No turbulence. It's calm. So the state of mind is extroversion, introversion. Don't relate it to action. You can be as dynamic, but mentally very, very mature and very peaceful. All right, sir? So ultimately, as I've said, the real silencing is where your mind is so mature while you're meditating. What are you doing while you're meditating? Om. 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 What are you doing? There are two things while you're meditating. There is matra, amatra. Matra is the mantra, which is the sound Om. Amatra is silence between the two matras, right? So when I'm chanting Om, Om, isn't there silence? Sorry? So the ultimate silence is to silence the mind, and the last sound that goes is Om. But once you evolve into an introverted state where your mind is naturally calm, that is when you can get lost meditating. You will revel in that silence. But it must be done at the right time, at the right place. If you don't do it the right way, it has serious consequences. So, the real silence through sound, the real takeaway, if each one of you want to practice, is try to practice austerity of speech and austerity of the mind. And through that, you would be able to invoke silence within. So with this, I conclude my short presentation. I will conclude the session by chanting the mantra. Please chant along with me. And after which there will be a small ritual. and then we can all disperse. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Srinivasji, may I request you to garland Guruji? Jayama. Now Jayama would present you with vote of thanks, and post that I would request all of you to be seated for a small procedural logistics things that I would help you with so that we all disperse it very quickly.
Hari Om. Foremost, on behalf of all of us, we thank the divinity for having made this event possible. Most importantly, we would like to convey our gratitude to Guruji, who is our friend, philosopher, and guide, and who constantly inspires us every moment to make the best version of ourselves from within. He also helps us grow, bringing about the much needed transformation. We thank our chief guest, Mr. A. Prasad, for having spared his valuable time despite his busy schedule for releasing the book. We immensely thank Narendra Ji, Chairman Pragati Printers, for sponsoring printing of books, Wisdom Conversations. Behind the success of getting this book to release, there are quite a few people who are actors behind the scenes. Guruji and the foundation would like to extend the appreciation and thanks to the transcript, editorial, and proofreading team comprising of Mrs. Vasanta Sethuraman, Mrs. Usha Suresh, Mrs. Jaya Raman, Mrs. Raji Kumar, Mr. Harish Kumar, Mrs. Preeti Aisola, Ms. Gayatri, Dacha Vijay Lakshmi, and Dacha Vaishnavi. We are also thankful to Senani Ji for his inputs in Sanskrit for the book. We thank Mr. and Mrs. We thank Mr. and Mrs. Sethuraman for sponsoring the prasadam of the day. We also thank all the volunteers of the foundation for the smooth conduct of the event. We thank our overseas Sishyas of Guruji, Mr. Bika Sinha, Dr. Sri Kumar, and Mrs. Aruna Sri Kumar, who have come all the way from Malaysia, and Mr. Harish from Hong Kong. How could this event have been such a huge success without you, the audience, who deserve a very big applause and a huge thanks to you all. Now I hand over the mic to Mrs. Vasanta.
Thank you, Jayama. We had a wonderful evening of book release and satsang. Thank you all for being a lovely audience. Now I just talk about a little bit formalities that we'll go through as a process. Before that, it's a tradition to pay our respects and gratitude to our Guru on this chosen day. We are facilitating you with an envelope so that you can leave your contributions in the Guru Dakshina envelope and put it in the Guru Dakshina box. I'll take a little minute to brief the logistics here. Would request the audience in the front seats to remain seated. The audience from the last rows, if you can come through your right and do your put your contributions, take blessings from Guruji. And if you're interested, please go ahead and buy the book from the counter. Post that, Guruji has agreed to sign a personal copies for anyone who is interested. That's on the left side for you. But would you have to request you to wait at this left side of the table once you are done with buying your book and taking the Guru Prasad. Last but not the least, we have a Prasadam counter downstairs. Before leaving, I would request all of you to collect your Prasadam from the counter downstairs. Thank you so much. With that, I think we will mark an end to this event today. Would request all the people from the behind to walk towards the dais. Vaishnavi.
Can I request my dad and my mom to come onto the stage, please? I would like to offer, it's not in order, but I would like to offer this to my parents and seek their blessings, because without their blessings, nothing would happen. Thank you. In fact, I'm also happy to share that my sister, younger sister, she's come from Dubai, and she's in fact also a student of Swamiji. She's also been in this field for over 2 decades. So I would like to share this joy of giving a copy amongst you all. Saita, can I have you here, please?